sound of getting that gold and free land was something I did not want to give up. Hello, militia. My name is Ramon, and this is the story of Anitra. We got promised by King Anakin and the whole Zinland government that we would get all that we could dream of. I was flabbergasted. Not only I, but 400 other people. We wanted our hands on the loot, too. So we boarded a Royal Navy ship and we went down 1,400 miles of the Continental River. We ended up what is now known as Creektown. We unloaded the boat and started the building. Although not many wanted to build, as many wanted to get the riches early than the others. We built the first settlement and the early stage of the government. We stayed under the flag of Zinland as well as the government of Zinland. After a few months passed, troopers from Zinland and over 1,000 people came with supplies and now boats. After another few weeks, we started to receive poor treatment, as our civilization was taken over by Zinland. Many came here for the treatment of having and controlling their own civilization, and now we are being pushed around again and taxed like we were back in Zinland. Another few weeks had passed. We had enough. Within the forest of Ascania, we created another settlement to hold government power and to hold the first military in New Zealand. Me and the rest of the first people to step foot on this land met up and discussed what to do now. I said we should fight back and regain our rightful land, while the others were skeptical. A few did sign the declaration of war, while the others had to think about it. As the weeks passed, two new areas were founded. One was mainland, and the other was the hills of the High King. I stayed located in the hills region, and just 3 weeks after the others agreed, we formed the first military of the New Zealand, Zinland. We sent 3 troopers to Zinland, and as the troopers were told, they gave them the declaration of war. And as the king read the declaration, war was declared. New Zinland broke out into pure chaos. The first place that was attacked was within the hills region. Hundreds of Zinland troopers rained fire upon me and my battalion. We fired back, but it was pointless. We were outnumbered and called for the first pullback. We ended up in mainland past the Great River. Smoke and bullets rained across the river on both sides of the region. But even though we thought we would win, they crossed the river. After 5 hours of fighting, we were taking heavy casualties and could not maintain the mainland region anymore. We pulled back for the last time. Many started to panic and prepare to surrender. But just then, in a bright sun, the man stood up. His name was Rex. He told each of us that we were the people, the sons, the daughters, and the children of these lands. As his speech rung in our ears, a group of 50 troopers stepped up with him. These troopers are now known as the White Shades Republic. They stood with him as well as the rest of the people. This war that was about to happen would be known as the Great Battle of New Zealand. As we almost all were armed, the sound of marching was heard in the walls of New Zealand. The final battle was about to happen, but now the hearts and the pride of the people were big, and we charged them with pride. We took massive casualties, but nothing slowed us down. We kept fighting and fighting. We were on the edge of losing, but then the sound of a horn of justice, a horn of hope, rang through the sky, and from the fog that was over the river, a fleet of Navy ships, but not just any ship, ships from the United Republic arrived. As they fired down upon the Zinland troopers, cheering of the Anitrans rung through the region, and the white flag was raised. After both sides signed the treaty through the regions of Anitra was formed, stating that Zinland could not take over Anitra again. And from the name of New Zealand, it was then turned to Anitra. The Blue Cross flag was raised. After a few years passed, a new president came to office named Orange. This president legalized a substance known as spice. This substance became a big problem, as this substance caused many to quit their jobs and just keep using it, as well as a factor making this spice exploded, causing massive wildfire, harming the whole mainland, causing over 2 million antis and damages. But the worst was the crime rate, because so many was addicted to this substance, they wanted more, so they robbed and harmed so many, so they could get their greedy hands on more, and because of this, many looked at President Aryan as a villain more than a person to help Anitra. After 5 months in office, President Aryan was impeached and permanently banned from Anitra. Although many thought that what was done by him was wrong, President Aryan had many fans and allies with him. And once they heard of his impeachment, well, Anitra went into utter chaos. Mainland was into a full-blown war. As now Anitra was going through war, half of Anitra was split between President Aryan and half was split with President Ethan. After a while of warnings, the first shots were fired, and from there a civil war in Anitra was declared. The Anitran military, as well as the White Shades, were ordered to take it down. This was for peace within Anitra. It did not become that easy, as Zinland started to supply the rebels with ammo and firearms that they desperately needed, as well as aiding them with troopers. Although with all of this, special forces of the Anitran Republic managed to take down this new amount of rebels, slowly but surely. As 2 weeks passed, a war was calming down a bit. The rebels asked for peace, and during the period of ceasefire, an explosion happened on the Anitran side, sending another small war. The terrorist who blew up the building was arrested and killed on spot. After that, Pinetown declared their surrender and ended up paying over 20 million antis and fines that they still pay to this day. After the war happened, President Ethan was declared impeached, and then I was declared temporary president. Although everything became quiet in Anitra, a self-attack from Vascania happened to the Greek region. The Greek region was held captive by the absolute monarchy of Vascania. The royals of that land at the time was Queen Amira and Queen Serenity. For a while, I was in hiding at Vascania. I had to get away from Anitra as it was going into utter chaos, but I heard that they were holding our people hostage. I went back to Anitra as fast as I could. Once I arrived back, many doubted me, and many hated me. Thanks to General Rex and his battalion, we took back the Greek region very swiftly, and because of this, started the move to better Anitra. After the war, we experienced General Rex was dubbed president, and I was dubbed supreme leader. With this, me and President Rex focused on creating a strong military, and because of this, we created the better version of the Nightshade Spec Ops and the White Shades Militia. After a while of repairs in the Creek region, the people of Anitra started to build the Creek region stronger and better. The capital of Anitra was moved to the Creek region, or should I say now, New Vascania. The president's house was relocated to Creektown, New Vascania. More and more places popped up in Anitra, to tourist attractions like the Hobbit Holes of Paradise Hills to the boardwalks of Statesman. New institutions also appeared, like the Creekstonian Institution and the Congress of the Brethren. Due to New Vascania shared a border with Vascania, Anitra pressured Vascania to change their government from a monarchy to a democracy. And with not that much hesitation, Vascania changed their government to a democracy. And thanks to the change of government, started UCA, United Countries Association, which guaranteed that if a war was to start, that all of the countries within UCA would help their brethren. And after some negotiations, I signed the document for peace along with Rex, forming the first treaty of Anitra and the virtual world. And thanks to these achievements a long time, we have what our country is today. Even though we may not be perfect, we still stay united among one flag, and that is the flag we stay forever. That is the flag that got this country to where it is now. As time goes on, and as we evolve, the rest of these ever-changing world,